This Earth Day STEM is being recorded for the Harrison Township Public Library. Hello, everyone. My name is Kathy Foster from TechKnowKids, and I'm here to do some fun STEM activities related to Earth Day. Earth Day is April 22nd, and it is a day that we celebrate the Earth and we talk about ways that we could take care of the Earth and things like that. But really, we should be practicing Earth Day all year long. And I'm going to give you some ideas of things that you can do. The first thing I'd like to do is share some stories that are related to Earth Day or taking care of the Earth that I think you will really enjoy. You may be able to find these in your library. If not, I am sure that there are many more that you can choose from. The first one is called Earth Day Crafts for kids using recycled materials. And it has just a bunch of different little ideas that you could use with things that you have around the house and that maybe you get out of the recycling bin. Another book that I would recommend is called Miss Rumphius. This is an older book. It's been around for a while. It's by Barbara Cooney, and it is a great story that talks about making the earth a more beautiful place. And the third book that I think that you would really enjoy is called 10 Things That I Can Do to Help My World. And this is a real super easy read, but it gives you some really awesome ideas of what you can do to conserve energy and recycle and things like that. So I might refer to this later on in some of our experiments and different engineering activities that we might do. All right, so I'm going to start by kind of making sure that you know that a lot of times around Earth Day, you'll hear the words reduce, reuse, and recycle. And I just wanted to explain what those terms mean. Reduce means that you reduce the amount of waste that you produce, meaning if you try to not use single serve things, put things in containers that are smaller, buy larger quantities, buy in bulk and things like that. So that's how you can reduce. When you reuse something, you use items more than one time. And an example, we're going to be doing some activities where we're going to be doing that, but also some easy things would be that instead of using baggies, because these are really hard to decompose, try using recycling things that you can reuse. Put your carrots and dip in here or in a separate container and wash it and reuse it again. That's a great way that you can reuse some of the materials that you do. And then recycle is putting a product to a new use instead of throwing it away. And we're going to be doing some really fun activities with that. So those are the three, you'll be hearing that: reduce, reuse, recycle. You can also, if you can recycle something because usually on the bottom, it will have a little triangle. It's hard to see on this container, but right here, it shows you that little triangle shows you that you can recycle it. And I bet all of you have some sort of recycling bin and things like that. So the first experiment that we're going to do has to do with water. And we use often water every day, and we forget how important water is to us. We're lucky. We have an unlimited supply of water, but in some countries, it's very, very difficult to find clean water. And it's also very important to conserve water. And one thing that you can do to do that would be to two things actually. You can take shorter showers. And the other thing is when you brush your teeth, maybe you do this already. And if you do, you're doing a great thing for the earth. Instead of running the water and while you're brushing your teeth, turn the water off. That can save up to 18 glasses of water every time you brush your teeth. And the first experiment I'm going to show you, it has to do with pollution, water pollution. And so to do this experiment, I have made some polluted water. And how did I do that? I took some cinnamon sugar. Now, when I was looking up some experiments to do, it said to use pepper, but I chose to use cinnamon sugar because it has the same kind of gives you the same effect. So you can see that this kind of looks like dirty, polluted water, right? And so what we're going to do, and we have water filtration systems in our area too. That's what we drink, clean water. We're lucky that we can just, drink from the faucet. So I'm going to show you though that sometimes, even though the water looks cleaner, that it still does have some pollution in it. And so you have this polluted water. Like I said, I made it with cinnamon, sugar, and let it sit for a few minutes. And then you could take a coffee filter or a paper towel and use this as a filter. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick, this is a paper towel, and I'm going to stick it in here like this and kind of put my hand around it so that the water collects right there. Wait a minute, I'm going to get you, I'm sorry, gave you the wrong. I'm going to get a empty glass, and I'm going to filter the water, the polluted water, and see if it comes out cleaner, okay? So I'm gonna put the filter in this glass like this, right? And I'm going to pour the polluted water through this filter. You should be able to see, you have to kind of do a little bit at a time, and you can see that the water is looking much cleaner. I'm going to do a little bit more. But the idea of this experiment is that even though it looks cleaner, the water looks cleaner than the polluted water, right? It looks better, right? It's still, if you taste the water, which cinnamon sugar doesn't taste bad, that you will see that there's still a taste in the water that is cinnamon. That means that some of the pollution still remains in the water. So it's very important to try to, keep pollution out of our water systems, out of our rivers and our lakes and things like that. So if I take a little sip of this, yes, I can still taste a little bit of cinnamon. So that shows me that even though the water looks clean, that there is still some pollution in it. So that's my first experiment. All right, so the next thing I'm going to show you is how to use some recycled materials and to reuse them. The first thing that we're going to do is we are going to make a terrarium out of a recycled plastic container that I showed you before. And what is a terrarium? A terrarium it holds plants, and you don't really need to water it that often. And so what we're going to do is I'm going to take this, one side of this came from a leftover meal that I had. And so I'm going to put some soil, potting soil, in one side of the container. Okay. I'm going to spread it out like this. Then I'm going to put some water into this soil. And you kind of have to, this soil anyway, you want it saturated. You want it so that it feels moist, not that you're going to drown the plants, but that enough water is in it that the plants will sprout, okay? So I'm going to put a little bit more water in here. That seems pretty good. It'll kind of absorb through time and things like that. All right, so clean off my hands here. So now I'm going to add some seeds. So this is another pretty cool science experiment. These seeds I purchased from the dollar store. They were 25 cents per pack. So that was pretty inexpensive. And the cool thing is that we can see this is a pea seeds, and this is a marigold. So we have a flower and a vegetable. It doesn't matter what, you can try different seeds. You could, even try some seeds that you have from your fruits and vegetables around the house, okay? So I just wanted to choose two different ones that look completely different so that you can compare the different ones. So the marigold, these are from flowers. They look like this. You see that they're kind of small. I think they come from the middle of the flower, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, so I'm just going to put some of these on one side of the little planter that I have, and then I'm going to just poke them in there. And then I'm going to take the pea seeds, and what you can do is you can compare how does the marigold seeds look different than the pea seeds or the seeds that you have. And you can see that a pea is usually a little small round thing that you eat. And look, it looks just like this. They're just dried out. So I'm going to put a few of these in this container, this side. Okay. Now, what do plants need to grow? They need sunlight, water. We provided them with water, hopefully not too much. And so I'm going to close this up and I'm going to put it by the sunshine. And about 7 to 10 days, I'm going to keep a watch on it every day. And I'm going to make sure that it seems moist, because you should not have to water this. You'll see that there's going to be little water droplets that are going to form. Condensation is going to form on here, and that will water the plants for them. Once they sprout, you'll have to open up the thing, and then you'll have to water it a little bit more. And you can watch them grow. And then around the end of May, if you have success, you can actually put them in a garden, and hopefully you could get some beautiful flowers or some vegetables from it. So again, this is made out of a recycled plastic container. I'm reusing it, and hopefully it will produce some awesome plants for my garden and for my flower garden, my vegetable garden. So that's one thing that you can do with recycled materials. The next thing that we're going to do with recycled materials is we're going to do something with newspaper. And you can do so many things with newspaper. There are, you can take it and you can make a roll out of it and put a little tape there. You could build things with these, with just tape. I mean, you don't need toys. All you need is some newspaper, roll it up. You would be amazed at how strong some of the structures you could be. This with masking tape. Another thing that I have that you can do, see if I can make this work. If you I had about 3 or 4 pieces of newspaper, and I'm gonna just twist up the roll like this. And I'm gonna have to I thought I had my scissors out here, but I'm gonna have to get some scissors real quick. Okay, there. All right, so I rolled it up and I just took the middle out of it. I'm gonna take my scissors and I'm just gonna cut around like this. And then you can just take it and you have like a little palm tree that you can make, or a little cool flower, or it looks like 4th of July little firework, or whatever you want it to be. That's the cool thing about it. Use your imagination. We don't use our imagination enough. We don't have to. This is something that you can just say, hey, what can I make out of newspaper? And here we have this really cool design, right? Again, you can make a structure out of this. You can make paper hats out of this. Just use your imagination. Another really cool thing we're going to do with newspaper is we are going to make some recycled paper, okay? And so I did a few things ahead of time. What I did first was I took some newspaper. Newspaper works the best. You can use some other paper, but this seems to be like thin enough that it really breaks down, because you want the paper to break down. So right now, you just cut it in really small pieces, put it in a bowl, and then you add water to it. And this is what I added some water to the newspaper and then you let it set for an hour or 2. And then once you let it set, what you need to do is the other thing you need is a strainer, and you're going to take the paper that's been soaking in water, and you're going to make a pulp out of it. And a pulp is just almost like oatmeal. It just mushes up together, right? You're going to just take it with your hands and you're just going to break it up. If you want to use a blender, you can use a blender, but I'm just using my hands. I don't need to use the electricity. I could save the electricity and just use my hands to do this. So I'm see how it doesn't even look like paper anymore. It's just like a big bunch of like almost paper mache, right? So I'm going to put this in my strainer, my colander. Do a little bit more. All right. Mushing it up so that it kind of all sticks together almost. It's almost, there's no glue needed, but it almost looks like, all right. So, this is what it looks like right in here. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take what I have and I'm just gonna try to mush it even more so that it kind of sticks together. Get most of the water, try to get as much water out of it as I can. There's still a lot of water in it. And if you want to use your seeds, you could do a couple different things. You could either just keep the paper like it is, and you can make a design, like I can make a heart out of this like this. Okay, see how it's kind of stuck together? I'm gonna put it through the strainer again, get as much of the moisture out of it, and so that it sticks together really well. All right, so here I formed a heart. It's a rustic heart. It's not, it's made out of recycled paper, so it's not gonna be perfect, but you can actually, even if you want to do it, you can cut it afterwards, but I'm going to just form it like this. Then you're going to take it and you're going to set it in your calendar and you're going to let it dry for about 24 hours. And if you want, you can add some seeds to this. And this one, I made one before, I added some of my marigold seeds to it, okay? But this one is just going to be plain. And the ones with the seeds, they'll dry and you can go just set this as a way to plant. You can just put this in the oil, in the dirt and they should sprout. You could actually make cards out of this. You could make a bookmark out of this and give it to maybe your grandparents or your aunt and uncle or something like that once it dries. This is what it looks like once it's dried. It looks like really cool paper. In fact, you can buy some cards like this at some card stores and they're pretty expensive. And then you can either cut, like I said, you could cut and make something out of it, or you can just keep it as it is. The choice is yours. Like I said, this one isn't dry yet, but this one has some seeds in it, and you can make a card, glue this onto a card and then give it to someone and they say, plant your seeds when you're done. So that's just a really cool way to use, another way to use recycled newspaper. So that's my other thing. Let's see. I have one more thing to show you. Birds. This time of year, it's spring. We're taking care of the earth. Go in your yard. Maybe you can pick up some, I'm sure that there's some old things that around your yard that needs to be picked up. It's a great thing to do. You will discover so many things when you go on a little nature hunt. And while you're at it, pick up some garbage. That's a great way to celebrate Earth Day. Birds are important to our environment too. So I thought that for our final project, we could make a bird feeder, and we're going to make it out of Cheerios and a string, or if you don't have a string and you want to use a pipe cleaner, you can use that too. So what I did, I started it out. I took one Cheerio, because it's made of oat and birds will like that. And I tied it so that they wouldn't fall all the way through. And then I simply just strung the Cheerios, and you just keep on going, strung the Cheerios. And you can make this as long as you want, as short as you want. It's up to you. I mean, you could string it on the fence, put it on a tree, your choice. But I bet you'd be surprised what birds come, or maybe some squirrels would like this too. So it's good to just observe nature. Tie it up when you're done. And hang it on a tree. If you want to use, the pipe cleaner, you can just take one to start it, twist it, and then this is a little bit easier to feed them through. And then you can actually recycle this when you're done, when the birds are done, or the squirrels or whoever is enjoying your thing, you can just redo it again, right? The string might not take it a second time. So keep on going as long or as short as you want it to be. And then this, you could just make a hook out of it and hang it in the tree. So that is it. So again, just go around your house, make some things out of recycled materials. You'd be so surprised. In fact, in this book, there's a great picture of one, and I want to show it to you. Here it is. It says, the page says, I enjoy. And look at, he made a robot, And he just used boxes and different things that he had around the house, making toys from things around the house. And that is a great way to use your imagination. It says we can reuse lots of things before we throw them away. And I collected some other things that, just some ideas of things. If I find an interesting box, I just keep it. And I think, what can I make with it? And here's some interesting box that I kept that I thought I could make something for. You could make something for a little doll or some action figures. I think that some different caps from different milk cartons and different containers. These are great things. You can glue them down and make some different mosaics and different art projects with it. You would be so surprised how creative you can be just by using recycled materials. So with that, I hope you have a wonderful day. Celebrate Earth Day. Go outside, enjoy nature, pick up some trash, make some things out of recycled material, and you will be, and when you brush your teeth, turn off that water. And enjoy your day and have a great one. Bye now.